Greetings, my Virgilian scholars. So, just a couple more lines here. I wanted to make sure I had this done for you before the end of the weekend. I know it's a little late, but hopefully some of you will get a chance to look at this, and then we can start reviewing. So here we're going to focus on this quote in line 701-2. That's right here. This quotation here. And this quotation is actually going to be uttered by Iris. So remember, Iris is this messenger of Juno, having been sent down from Olympus just as Mercury was sent down by Jupiter earlier in book 4. And we're in this scene where Juno has taken pity on Dido. You know, Dido's soul is struggling and her limbs are bound, and it's before the day of her fated death, and Proserpina had not yet cut the hair. So Iris is now, has come down through the sky. Dewy Iris has come down through the sky, with her yellow wings, dragging 1,000 various colors caused by the sun, and she stood supra caput, above the head, presumably to cut the lock of hair that would signify the actual death of Dido, finally, tandem, in the end. So again, if we if we go verb hunting, that's going to be our best way to get a foothold here. The first verb that we see here is going to be ferro. Ferro. And you're going to also see the emphasized pronoun. Ego ferro. I bear. I bear. I bear. And you're also going to see this participle here, iussa. Iussa is going to be the participial form, perfect passive, nominative singular feminine. So it's modifying the I that is doing the speaking, the person who's doing the carrying, and obviously it's Iris, so that's why it's feminine. So it's I having been ordered, iussa being the perfect passive participle, or eubeo, right, to order. I, having been ordered, bear hunc sacrum, this sacred thing. This sacred thing. So the hunc, obviously demonstrative adjective, hunc modifying sacrum. Both are adjectives, right? They're kind of they're both substantive in a sense, right? They're not really modifying anything. So I, having been ordered, i.e. by Juno, I, having been ordered, carry hunc sacrum, this sacred masculine thing. So really what's being modified by hunc sacrum can't be Dido herself, because Dido herself is feminine, right? So that really has to be, I think, the hair, the crinem, which is masculine. So I think that's what's going on here. The hunc sacrum is the holy hair. We can talk about it tomorrow, but diti, to dis, right? Dis, ditis is the proper name for the underworld, synonymous with orcus. Orcus and dis are the same. And remember, dis literally means wealth, or the wealthy one, and we could talk about that again, right? This idea that the underworld is where the precious metals and mines and gems and stuff come from. So there was this idea that Pluto or Hades was very wealthy. Okay. Ke, and right, so remember the and, the QUE is always before the word to which it's attached. And solvo, and I loosen, I release te, I release the accusative direct object, I release you. Right, so that little small te is the accusative second person pronoun singular. I release you. isto corpore, from that body, from that ablative body, like ablative of separation. So that the quote here should be something like, having been ordered, I carry this sacred thing to the underworld, and I release, I release, I unbind, I untie you, isto corpore, from your ablative body, ablative of separation. So I hope that makes sense. We'll do the last bit here. Sic 8, thus she spoke. Sic just means thus. 8, she spoke. And sekat, she cuts. So this is your verb here, right? Sekat. Sekat, she cuts, she severs. What does she sever? The crinem, the hair. She cuts the hair. Again, so I think that's what this hunk and the sacrum is referring to him as the crinem. Thus she speaks and cuts the hair dextra. With, literally, it means like with her right. The idea is obviously her right hand, right? With her right, i.e. hand, right? It's dextra manu, but the manu's not there. We all know we're talking about her hand. And then after the colon we have omnis calor, all heat. Calor means like heat. Obviously, the warmth of a body. Obviously, very interesting in our time. Everybody's taking temperatures and stuff to kind of monitor their health. When you're obviously a corpse is cold because it doesn't have the life force, right? It doesn't have the energy, right? I mean, that's what calor is. But when you look at that, it's where you get words like calorie from, right? Because that's the energy you need to burn off, right? California, right? The CAL means heat there. In Spanish, you say it's hot out. Hace calor, right? It's the same thing. And all the heat, all the warmth, una, at once or all together, de lapsus, slipped away. Here, you can always kind of assume there's an est at the end here. All the heat has slipped away. And atque, and even. Now we have another verb here, which is going to be recessit, to recede, to go away. And what's the subject there? The subject is going to be the vita. And life, or her life, receded in ventos, into the winds. So I'll go through this once for a clean translation for you. Obviously, it's not that long of a video because there's not that many lines to do here, but it's an interesting end to the book. Okay, so these are the last lines of book 4. Hunc ego diti sacrum iussa ferro teque isto corpore solvo. Sic et dextra crinem secat, omnis et una di lapsus calor atque in ventos vita recessit. I, having been ordered, carry this sacred thing to the underworld, and solvo, and I release you from that body, isto corpore. Thus she spoke, and she cuts the hair, the crinem, the accusative hair, by means of her right, i.e. hand, and una, like all at once or together. Omnis calor, the omnis is modifying the calor, all the heat, all the warmth, all the heat or all the warmth, you see here, departed, glided away. departed or glided away. And her life or life, vita, subject, recessit, perfectly, indicatively receded into the accusative winds. All right, there you have it. End of book 4. We'll review it tomorrow. I'll ask you some grammar questions, and then we'll start prepping for your sort of partial pieces of what would have been your trimester, just for review purposes and to make sure that you're on top of it for when we come back and eventually hopefully have comps and finish the year in a more normal way. Take care of yourselves. I look forward to having class tomorrow with you guys. Hope you had a good, safe weekend. Miss you guys.